Hey everyone, thanks for being here today, and thanks BNB Chain for this opportunity to present THENA to you today. I'm Apollo, I'm one of the co-founders and head of marketing at THENA. I've been here from the start, excited to tell you more about THENA, the community-driven DEX and a liquidity layer built on BNB Chain, now also live on OPBNB by the way. So without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. So let's begin with a little bit of a history lesson at first. So THENA launched its socials such as Twitter and Discord back in October 2022. And we had quite a fast start, so we gained massive traction from the start and then proceeded with a community fundraise for a total of $1 million from more than 500 individuals and DAOs. And then with the help of 20 or so partners, we launched THENA V1 back in January 2023. And basically within the first weeks, we reached a massive 90 million in TVL organically, I like to say, because we really we did not expect that much traction from the start. And yeah, it was a massive success. And despite being a community bootstrap operation, we did extremely well in 2023, generating over $11 million in revenue to our token holders. And we have basically generated more than 4.5 billion in total trading volume up to date. So we are a big DEX. Last year we also released a bunch of new features. We, for example, pioneered a new way to provide concentrated liquidity. We released a public beta of our perps DEX alpha, and we also released the liquidity hub, which gave traders on THENA access to PancakeSwap liquidity, meaning you can trade cake on THENA now, and so much more. It was a big year. And then in 2023, we basically, focused on building out the best product possible. So we wanted to make THENA DEX, the best DEX on BNB. And that was our main focus. And this year we are basically taking this vision to a global stage, and this presentation is basically part of that. So that's a little bit of history about THENA, and now you may be wanting to know more about what THENA actually is. So at core, we are a DEX, of course, but we offer both spot and perpetual trading. So we have expanded from what we really started out with. And we offer competitive fees and prices, and you can swap hundreds of different kinds of tokens on THENA. Our spot market has a much wider selection, but our perp market also has one of the leading selections of assets in the market. But yeah, in fact, THENA is much more than a DEX. This is something that we like to say. And one of the most significant innovative features is the self-optimizing ve3 model. And if you're not familiar with it, it basically means that the DEX automatically optimizes to generate as much revenue as possible. So it's kind of a decentralized system that doesn't require the team or some humans basically to control how many tokens goes to each pool. So we have this automatic self-optimizing system, and the basic idea is that ve3 holders, those that basically lock their THENA tokens to stake them, earn the trading fees and voting incentives generated by each pool that they vote for. And for protocols, projects that participate in this system, like Frax Finance, for example, they use this system by depositing, those voting incentives to different pools that they want to have liquidity for. And for protocols, there's also, in case they generate enough trading volume, they don't need those external incentives for those pools. Just something to note here. And also I want to mention, since we are talking about our perpetual DEX here, also it is not directly connected to this ve3 model. Instead, it doesn't use any emissions to operate. However, we do use the trading, basically the fees that are generated from alpha, our perps DEX, to buy back THENA tokens, and then we distribute those to, for example, our gauges and our Ichi vaults and whatever we deem necessary at that moment. We're gonna have like a structure for that in the future, but at the moment it's based on that. Then for a lot of users, the most interesting thing is, how can I make money with THENA? And the most popular way is, of course, providing liquidity. And on THENA, these may differ from some other platforms where liquidity providers mainly earn the trading fees. So on THENA, liquidity providers earn THENA tokens. And we offer several different pool types to suit, like different users want to have like different risk levels, or they want to, stake different kinds of assets. So we have a wide range of solutions to accommodate for almost like every single asset and situation that you can imagine. So we offer the classical V1 type of pools, which are the Uni V2 type of pools, basically for volatile tokens like, well, THENA is one and BNB is one example of those. Then we also have stable pools, which are, mainly for stable coins, as you can imagine. And then we also have concentrated liquidity. And that one is super interesting because, as I mentioned before, we had this retail-friendly solution for it, which we call Fusion. And what makes it retail-friendly is you don't have to manage your own ranges. So all you have to do is stake and earn THENA. It's super simple, it's super easy, and that's why we have had such tremendous success with it up to date. And on THENA, we basically have $30 million worth of, almost $30 million worth of concentrated liquidity staked in these different, basically liquidity managers. So one of our biggest ones is basically Gamma Strategies. Then we also now have DeFi Edge and Ichi. And what's interesting about Ichi is that they offer this single token deposit vault where you can deposit just a single asset, for example, Bitcoin, in order to earn, the trading fees generated by that pool, and also earning some THENA tokens on top. So the Ichi vaults are kind of the easiest solution that we have right now, and we're going to be releasing more new solutions in the future that make things even easier, especially for the other pools that we have. But yeah, stay tuned for that. This is one of the most popular ways to earn on THENA. Then another way is, of course, voting. And if you're not familiar with voting, it's this thing where in order to get voting power, you need to lock your THENA tokens. And you do that for up to 2 years. And I know that sounds scary, but on THENA, it's not really like a permanently locked in that sense. So we have a lot of flexibility. So for example, you can convert your VE THENA to liquid THENA from liquid driver, and just do single staking if you don't want to vote on a weekly basis. So we have solutions in case you don't want to lock, but you still want to, earn from this option. But that just a side note. So yeah, once you're done locking your tokens, you basically gain the ability to vote for different pools on a weekly basis. And what this means is you can choose the type of tokens that you want to earn. Let's use an example. Every Wednesday, you vote for the same pool. And this pool is, as an example, BNB BTC narrow. And that means every single Thursday, you get to claim rewards from this voting that you did. And in this case, the rewards are going to be BNB and Bitcoin. So yeah, exactly. So each week you're going to be earning more Bitcoin and more BNB. And when people realize like you can do this on THENA, they're amazed because this is not typical to a lot of platforms, and this is one of the coolest, I think, innovations that we kind of it is the core of THENA, and a lot of users love voting on a weekly basis because there are a lot of different kinds of tokens that you can earn. And if you're bullish on a certain type of token, for example FXS from Frax, you can just vote for that pool to accumulate FXS. So it's a really cool way to kind of diversify your portfolio at the same time. So I highly recommend you try it. And then let's check what's coming in the future. We have a lot more earning options on THENA, but I wanted to focus on the main two because we have so much things to talk about today. So we have a massive quarter ahead of us. February 1st basically marked the release of our new modernized branding / logo. We went with a much more balanced and sophisticated one. In order to make THENA stand the test of time, we wanted to have a logo that will last for the years to come, and that kind of like a started our February. And then next we have a completely new completely rebuilt UI designed around the user experience, being released in about 2 to 3 weeks. And then we're also going to be releasing the wallet with that new UI. And what that allows is for users to create a wallet with just a Google account or a Facebook account or a phone number even. And this solution will also have an integrated fiat on-ramp, meaning you can add funds with just a credit card, Apple Pay, or any of the other supported methods. And what it means is that suddenly it is much more easy for Web2 users to onboard to Web3. And this is part of the larger theme for us this year, kind of simplifying DeFi for new users. So after that, we're going to be releasing Arena, which is our kind of we call it the growth hacking tool, and it's mainly aimed at influencers and also partner projects which have, like, let's say they have token liquidity hosted on THENA, they want to generate more trading volume, they can then host these competitions on THENA to do just that. So it's going to be one of the biggest things that we're releasing this year, and it's only kind of the beginning with the trading competitions. The bigger vision is to build more of these social features around Arena to make THENA the most engaging, the most fun platform to use in all of DeFi. Then after Arena, we get ready to release Alpha on BNB. And if you didn't know much about Alpha, it is our intent-based perpetual DEX offering, I will say, around 200 assets. And with this intent-based model, we can actually, launch new assets that are listed on Binance basically on the same day. And yesterday we actually listed Jup, the coin for Jupiter, and that was a great example of the capability of the platform that we have. It's still in beta, we are building it out, but exciting times and releases coming up for Alpha as well. Then after Alpha, it didn't end there. We are going to have the release of the card, which is a Web3 based debit card solution, as well as THENA v3, which brings Uniswap v4 like capabilities to THENA. Basically, hooks, aka plugins, whichever word you want to use for that. And I think that's going to be transforming the BNB chain ecosystem over the next few months, and I would say even years. So a big year ahead. We only touched upon the Q1 of this year. So Q2, Q3, and Q4, stay tuned for those. So what we're really building here is much bigger than just a DEX. and I really cannot include everything that we're doing in a single presentation because there's just so much to THENA. And here in this slide, we, for example, have Warp, which is our basically launchpad accelerator, which we first talked about last year, but now this year we are kind of, actually taking things to the next level with it, and going to be having our first token launches for the Warp projects this year. So super excited for that. And then I urge you to join our community. So we have a pretty massive community. We have 127,000 followers on Twitter, but the main place is our Discord. We have over 16,000 members on our Discord, so do join us there. We have founders who are active there as well to answer any questions that you may have, or if you have any suggestions or feedback, you get to give it to the team right away over there. So it's a great place to connect with us. And that ends our presentation. Next, we're getting ready to take questions from the audience. So I urge you to write any questions that you may have. I'll be super happy to answer them to you today. Thank you very much.